What do you get when you throw two natural born intuitive mediums together with a passion for animals and empowerment?
Spirits, angels, and guides. Oh my. I'm empowerment medium Tara Diana.
And I am intuitive medium Nancy Brady. Together, we focus on the good,
The bad,
and the ugly of working with the spirit realm.
but mostly we're focusing on the good.
Hey everyone, welcome back to our podcast. We want to have a little disclaimer alert. We're having a special episode here. I would call it kind of a tribute episode. I would call it a fact episode. On June 29th, 2023, the world lost a very bright light, and it was my dear best friend's son. And a lot of our listeners and friends have questions, and we thought, what better way to do this in a safe platform for Tara that we could intimately share with you. Tara, how the hell did we get to this point?
Well, first of all, I can already feel the tears.
Yeah, me too.
I can already feel it. So this is one of those episodes where my voice is going to be all over the place. So let's call him by name. Ryan William Michael Nagy. Born November 3rd, 2023, Scorpio. Same as his mama.
Oh boy. Two Scorpios. I did not have the pleasure of knowing Tara as long as all of her other friends. So I've only been in Tara's world for about 3 or 4 years. And so I only got to see the elusive Ryan every now and then as he was jetting in or jetting out of the house. And I didn't have a lot of, one-on-one conversations, but I honestly can tell you the last year, Tara, I have felt like I know him.
Mm-hmm. I hear that a lot. And Nan, he was a hell of a kid, 19 years old. A little bit of background. Ryan was, he played elite sports. He played high-level soccer. He played high-level lacrosse. He traveled in lacrosse teams. He played for the Seattle Stars Elite 2020, whatever team. I can't remember anymore. There was so much stuff. And, he was a humble kid. He never wanted to be the center of anyone's attention. Loved his clothes. Oh, when all that stuff, remember, he was 19, so he was a part of the age where everyone was starting to buy and sell all the shoes and, doing all that. He loved that. He was that person who wanted the brand name. And, bless him, we weren't a, wealthy family or anything, so he had to do some creative stuff there, to kind of buy and sell. But he loved it. I can remember, this is such a cute story, and we told it last night at the barbecue, was that Ryan asked me one day if he could get $250. And I was like, for what? And he was probably about 15 when he did this one. And he said, because this new special code is dropping and I can get one. But if you give me $500, I'll get you one and I'll sell it for double for you too. And you'll make bank. I will never forget this. Never saw the money, never saw the jacket, never saw it. I mean, I did see the hoodies, but I never saw the money for it. So bless him. He was good at that kind of thing. How did we get here, Nan? Damn if I know. I do know. But
of our friends are quite frustrated with the lack of action.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't understand. Now, someone like myself, a true crime junkie, you're kind of the same. We like our podcasts, or we're listening to all of this. And I get it doesn't work like Hollywood where, the DNA comes in 24 hours and they go and do an arrest. But I know there's a lot of us sitting on the sidelines where we live in Vancouver, BC, Canada, and unfortunately, murder happens every day. But in the news, you see a week later, they've arrested the person. You see a month later, they've arrested the person. And we're a full year, Tara, we're a full year since your son was taken senselessly way too soon from this world.
So when this all happened, it happened in our home. And Ryan's girlfriend was living with us at the time. I was away, and I have 3 dogs, and I had the biggest dog, the loudest dog with me. And my husband had just left for work. So there's a couple things I want to say here. One, we know who did this. Ryan's girlfriend knew. Doesn't matter they were wearing hoodies and masks and gloves. Doesn't matter. we know. My husband came home in the middle of it. He turned around from work and came home. And again, not to get into every little detail, but he felt he had to come home and do something. And when he came home, there was a car parked in the driveway, motor running backwards. And Mike was like, what in the fluff is going on? So he parked in front of the car, blocked them in, and then went inside. And then I'm going to leave it a little bit blank here, just to be on this. Yeah, just to be on the safe side. What I will say is this. Ryan's girlfriend, I mean, here's the thing. These guys had been Ryan's friends. One of them, I have a picture of them in kindergarten graduation with those little paper crowns you get from the crackers.
Yeah.
Hugging each other.
Wow.
And the other ones had become his friends in high school, with the exception of the female. They'd brought a female, I guess, to suppress Ryan's girlfriend because they knew she was going to be there. These guys had been Ryan's friends, come to his lacrosse games, cheered him on, come to my house, eaten my food, been in my car, some of them, right? Like, these were not people who were just nobodies. Now, there had been a falling out between them, but not so much so that there was, any kind of fear. As a matter of fact, Ryan didn't even talk about it. He's just like, they can do them, like, whatever. As a matter of fact, he told me he wasn't hanging around them because they didn't like his girlfriend. So it didn't bother him. He was like, people fall out, they get back together as friends, they don't, whatever. But I'm going to say this. I wholeheartedly feel that when this happened, I was away, as I said. I was working with an Indigenous community up in the interior, and I was about to head home. I was packing my bags, and my daughter called me. She had been living somewhere else with her boyfriend at the time at his parents' house. And she's like, hey, are you at home? And I was like, no, why? She goes, both ends of our street are blocked off with police tape. Now, she works right by our home. And I knew, with every ounce of my being that it was about Ryan. And I called, I said, get off the phone, call your brother. And I called him, no answer. I called his girlfriend, no answer. Called my husband, no answer. All the time, I just knew. I was that helicopter mom, Nan. I knew something. I always knew something was going to happen to Ryan. I did not know this, but I always knew. So I was that mom that drove him crazy because I would text him when he got his license. If I heard sirens, I would text him. I mean, I was probably drove him nuts. And I'm pretty sure his girlfriend has even admitted that I was kind of, over the top. But he must have felt loved. I was definitely looking for him.
Yeah.
So I called my neighbor because we're quite good friends. And she answered the phone and I said, Leah, tell me he's not dead. That's what I said to her. And she responded with, Tara, why are you calling me? And I said, Leah, tell me he's not dead. And she said, I can't do that.
Oh.
And there I am standing up in the middle of nowhere with, my little staffy. And my world just shattered. Because I hit one
soon enough, right?
So I knew the moment she said, I knew who did it, with the exception of two people that I didn't know were even part of his life anymore or had ever been. But I knew, Nan. I knew it because there had been a falling out. And even though I had no fear about these guys because they were just young guys, I just knew it was them. And I told, when I got back home, when people came and got me from where I was, there was this beautiful coordinated effort, come and get me so I didn't have to drive. When I got home and the detective came to me, we stayed at our neighbor's, Leah's next door. They have a suite. And I said, I know who did it. I know who did it. And they said, come down to the station. When I did, I told them. And I didn't know anything. I hadn't talked to Noella. Noella was still in the hospital, I think, at that point. I knew. And it hurts so bad because in the community that my kids have grown up in, they are a bit of a minority, blonde hair, blue eye kids. My kids went to community elementary school and went to a community high school, and they are the least racist, biased, prejudiced children. They accept everyone. Birthday parties here were like the United Nations.
Yeah.
It was so cool. And Alana really associated with the Asian community, and Ryan really associated with the Black and South Asian communities, and really, was in that space, and they accepted him and they loved him for the most part. So they never, I was always surrounded by all these kids and all these families. And, in elementary school, I was the pack mom, and we created all these beautiful spaces for these families that were coming, immigrants. We had the highest immigrant and for refugee kids coming into our school area. So our school area had quite a few community schools, so we tried different foods and we learned about different cultures. And like I said, we embraced everyone as they did us, right? And to know that this all comes down to, and I'm not going to lie, Nan, this all comes down to jealousy, right? Ryan had the car everyone wanted. Ryan could sell the car. Ryan had a very stable home, 2 parents, and I've never put a lot of thought into, I've seen a lot of single moms just thrive and make amazing homes for their families. But, 2 parents, both, working, Ryan got to play all the sports all over the world. Lana danced everywhere. I put a lot of energy into my children and creating, safe environments for them. And I felt, that these kids that he was around were safe until they weren't.
Yeah.
And, I don't want to label anyone. I don't want to say but this is it, man. These are kids that got involved. Not Ryan. I want to make that very clear.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan was not in a gang. But a lot of those kids from high school and elementary school followed that path of, easy money. And don't get me wrong, Ryan liked money. Mm-hmm. He liked nice clothes. He liked his Jordans. He liked his, his shirts, with the brand names. He liked that stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that. You can like that stuff. And you can work at Costco at 4 a.m, mm-hmm. right? And get the money to get that stuff. You can live at home for free as long as you have a job.
Yeah.
Right? Pay your bills. And jealousy is the monster that can get you in the end.
Yeah.
Get you in the end.
Yeah.
And you can't deny, where these kids came from, though. You can't deny it.
Right. And I think a lot of the places they got their money weren't from working at Costco at a 4 a.m. shift.
Exactly.
I remember you waking Ryan up at 3 a.m. to go to work, and just I remember all of that. And so, obviously we can't get into a lot of the details. We don't want to jeopardize any of the evidence with the case and everything like that. But I can't imagine.
Can I tell you, Nan? Can I tell you? You know all this, but can I tell the audience a little bit, of what happened afterwards?
Yes.
Was that everyone found out. All Ryan's friends knew who it was within a day.
Right.
And not just from the girlfriend, maybe, saying something here or there and word of mouth. Literally, these guys were posting stupid rap songs on TikTok, Instagram posts, throwing up I don't know if that's a gang sign. I'm pretty sure it's not. I think it's hang 10. But anyway, they're doing stupid things. Talking like they are all this, trying to drop rap songs and all of this. And you know how I knew I was 100% correct in knowing it was them? I knew it in my soul. is that when it came time for his celebration of life, we had to rent an arena, a lacrosse arena. 450 plus people came. His teammates came from all over, from Florida, from Washington, from Ohio. They came from all over the place. And none of those guys who had been Ryan's good friends showed up. None of them. People showed up that barely knew Ryan. Kids-wise. I'm talking kids. Showed up. And, every person that spoke at Ryan's celebration, his coaches, the kids he grew, like I said, that he grew up with, they all said the same thing. He was the nicest guy. Polite. He always, he would help you. He would, go out of his way. He would mumble to me about every single thing. I mean, he would let my dogs go constipated before he would walk them. But if you had come up and said, Ryan, could you help me unload the car? He would have been there like that. If Mama needed her driveway shoveled, Ryan would head over there after Costco at 4 a.m. and shovel her. That was the kind of kid. And he gave those mother fluffers food 4 days before this happened.
Wow.
4 days. I've had confrontations with two of them and an associate. And they're scared, and they should be. One's on house arrest for something completely different, which shows you what kind of person he is. Another one is running around saying she's part of this gang and she owns English Bay, and oh my God. And you hear all the things because everyone's talking.
Yeah.
I think it's time we talk. I think it's time that we have a conversation, that you can have the best kid in the world out there who has no beef, if I hear that word one more time, no beef with anyone in such a big way that he would ever hurt anyone. And these guys are running around flexing like they're tough guys because they're afraid of another person over here or this person over there, or they're burning bridges. Ryan would never have even thought. Fist fight for sure, right? He defended people. He got pepper sprayed a few times, bear sprayed a few times. But isn't that part of growing up? When did it become okay to start, shooting people? And Ryan, I'm not going to say how Ryan passed, but with all due respect, when did we go to there that was your solution? Because who is that? Who are you being tough to? Because I'll tell you that Spirit's not looking down on you going, well done, so-and-so. So, we put up posters on Friday night. Saturday would have been his 1 year. So two of his really good friends and one of my besties, we all drove around and we put up posters in front. I know where these guys live. I see them. I run past them. Right? So we put up posters and we said, we see you. We know you. Brian had a tattoo, and I don't think I can show it very well here, but it says, it was the love right there, but it was much more masculine looking. And it said, loyalty outvalues everything. Yeah, apparently not in some people's view. Money. They really thought Ryan had all his money stashed in his room. He'd sold his car, was getting ready. He was going the next day. And he was so excited that his accountant, which is my accountant, told him he had $3,000 coming in a refund, tax refund. He was ecstatic because the next day he was going with Mike to secure a loan to get his new car.
Nice.
Yeah, except for he never got to do it.
No.
He never got to have that moment with Mike. He never got to see that $3,000. He didn't get to do any of that because these guys stalked our house, knew I was gone, knew the pit bull was gone. I have a beautiful staffy. She's not a pit bull necessarily. I guess she's a form of that, but a beautiful staffy who is loud as hell and she's very territorial. So no one's breaking into my house with her in there. And they watched Mike and figured out his schedule.
Yeah.
That's premeditation.
Oh,
They
100%.
not have come in here, Nan, because if they were coming in here to kill him, they would have had to kill his girlfriend. Otherwise, she's just a witness, right? So I don't believe they came in here with the intention of doing that, but they did it. And now, game on. This mama bear, if you know me, you know I am as Scorpio as they come, and this is it. This is it. We ride. They do not. A year's gone by, and Nan, they told me the day they released the house back to us, they came. The lead detective and his supervisor came and stood in front of me and said, "This will be closed. Don't you worry. It may take some time, but this will be closed."
Sure.
It's time. It's time. Having these guys waltzing around acting like nothing happened, I can't do it. And I don't want to hear, I appreciate it when people say, hang in there, you're an inspiration, that's going to come, they're going to get theirs. Don't say too much, blah, blah. I know. I also know that time doesn't heal these wounds. I also know that it doesn't get better. I know. But what I want everyone to know is that we're not letting this just go. This is not going to be swept under a rug. This is not, even if they don't, they will never, ever forget what they did. They will never forget what they did. And how they heal from it is up to them. And who forgives them? Well, it's not me. I talk about forgiveness a lot in the work, but right now that's not my jam. Girl, that's not it. They don't need my forgiveness. They need to forgive themselves.
Yeah.
My forgiveness isn't coming.
Nor should it. I don't think anyone would expect you to forgive them.
And I want to go into this really quick, Nan, because I feel like what's going to happen now is that I've said that is I'm going to get this influx of people saying, oh, you're going to carry that and it's going to make you sick and make it a burden for you and all this. What if I said it fuels the fire for me to try and help other people, other kids, other families not move into this? And I'm not necessarily talking about families like mine. I'm talking about families like these kids' families who get stuck in this space and think that turning to a life of crime or gangs or any of that stuff is going to fulfill them in any way. Families that don't have resources, don't know how to handle their kids.
Yeah.
And that the biggest perpetrator in all of this took advantage of these other guys. I mean, this kid had been sent back to his country and his mom took his passport back with her and left him there.
Mm-hmm.
That's got to tell you something.
Right. Exactly.
Not going to lie. When I ran into her, I told her she should have left him there.
Yeah.
But I did feel sad for her. And I said that to her. I said, I feel for you, because she just couldn't believe what I was saying. I mean, the police were in her house. She was standing in her pajamas in the courtyard.
Yeah.
And the police were ransacking her house. And she could not understand why they were doing that.
She's living in a lot of denial too, though.
Absolutely. And you got to feel sad for her because that's her son, her oldest son. I haven't run into any of the other parents, but I don't know if I even know them. I was never part of that world. She, from kindergarten, I knew who she was.
Right.
So, but there's so much, blatant activity going on with these guys. Excuse me. Blatant activity going on with these guys. I mean, they're on Instagram. They are, and they think I can't see it. They think they've got me blocked. And they do have me blocked, but I have other ways of seeing it.
So I think one thing we should do for all of our listeners who are frustrated and wanting to know what they can do to help out. I know one hashtag that we've been using quite readily on Instagram and Facebook is hashtag Justice for Ryan Nagy, RYANNAGY. You can go to Tara's or my page and see the poster that was made, share it, get it out there, make it go viral. Somebody's got to hear this. Somebody's got to do something. And, you know, it's a soft form of let's get this message out there and light some fire under those detectives' butts.
Yeah, and if you are interested in following Ryan's story, there's two ways you can do that. That hashtag is amazing. You can my personal TikTok. So I have two TikToks. I have Spirit Essence by Tara Diana. I talk very little about that in there, just a little bit. But I have a personal TikTok, Tara Diana, that you are welcome to come and join. We did go viral with the post on Saturday. So almost 600,000 views, which means that people are seeing it, they're hearing it. We have a private Facebook group that if you would like to add me as a friend, Tara Diana on Facebook, and be moved into that group, you can see, I don't post every day in there because there's nothing to post every day, but there will be posts. We'll keep you updated. I'm going to be doing a lot more talking, and bless my spiritual community, the mediums and intuitive workers that are going to work with me on this, but we are going to start having open discussions about how we got here. These families need guidance. These families need help. I couldn't have been a better mom, honestly, Nan. I couldn't have. That's not tooting my own horn. My kids were in sports and dance, and they had good schooling, and I couldn't. Was I not supposed to get Ryan a car? Help him get a car? Was I not supposed to wake up at 3 a.m, make sure he got to work? Was I supposed to let him fall through the cracks? Do you know what I mean? Was I supposed to move into a different neighborhood? There's all those things you can go to and be like, why, and et cetera, et cetera. But
yeah,
what am I supposed to do? What was I supposed to do?
I don't think there's anything you could have done differently. I think a lot of this, unfortunately, was the result of other people's decisions and
circumstances. I really think the circumstances, right? How they got here and what was given to them. How can we advocate for them to feel maybe more safe, or maybe have more programs for their kids? I mean, I know what Edmonds put together for the kids because I was a part of the pack. I was throwing the Halloween stuff, I know. Sometimes it's not enough and there has to be something more. And I know that we are now at an age where the funds aren't there. So we have to create things. And so please, everyone, take a moment, give a shout out to Rye, number 10. He should be with us. He should be with his girlfriend who loved him more than life itself. We shouldn't be sitting here having this conversation. I shouldn't feel so sad because the Ryan part of me is never going to be filled. And, I know there's others that are going through the same thing, and my heart goes out to them. So just thank you, Nan, for hosting this for me.
And I'm going to be standing right alongside you every step of this and watching as hopefully you bring some change to the world and help other people through this. I know people who are following your journey, you're helping them heal through sharing your grief. So we'll continue to do this, and there will be justice for Ryan.
And we'll update you when we get something to update. So much love to you all. Thank you for your thoughts and prayers, those that have sent it. So much appreciation. So much love back at you. Thanks, Nat.
Thanks for listening, everyone. And we'll put the links in the comments below on YouTube and the podcast.